G'day everyone, and happy World Carnivore Month. I'm so stoked that me doing 6 months of carnivore has landed perfectly on World Carnivore Month. I hope all of those participating this month are going strong and thriving and are experiencing the optimum health they were looking for. Now, if you haven't seen my first video on doing 90 days of carnivore, go back and check that one out because it gives a bit of a background of why I decided to eat like this. I'll put a link to that video in the description. And to my surprise, that video is now up to over 170,000 views with hundreds of success stories that are rolling into the comments. So go have a scroll through and give them a read because man, they will blow your mind. But in a nutshell, I started eating this way to help heal my autoimmune and gut issues, and I've had some great success but still have some long ways to go. I think it's going to take longer than 6 months of carnivore to make up for years of illness. My initial 3-month stint where I was just going to try it for 90 days like in that first video has now progressed to a 6-month stint. After being sick for so many years, I finally have a reference point of health and just how good I can actually feel. Anyway, before I fully dive in, I just want to give a massive shout out to all the doctors and experts that have helped me significantly and educated me along the way and have also supported me and my content I'm putting out there. Absolute legends like Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Simon Lewis at How to Carnivore, the Carnivore King himself, Dr. Sean Baker, where I've had the pleasure to interact with all these guys on social media. They've been such a help. Also Dr. Ken Berry, nutritionist Judy Cho. There are heaps of people that have helped me along this journey. Anyway, let's dive into it. And the first thing I want to talk about is coffee on the carnivore diet. So after the initial first 3 months of cutting everything out, after that 90 days, I did reintroduce black coffee again, which is seen as blasphemous by a lot in the community because it's not carnivore.
Heathen.
But after getting off coffee for those first 3 months, I am now so sensitive to caffeine. I have half a shot of coffee and I am off to the races. But now I don't have that same relationship that I had with coffee previously. You know that whole, I need coffee to start the day. Sometimes I just skip it altogether. Caffeine is addictive and it feels good and elevates your mood. But the reason I added it back was for the social interaction side. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm high in extroversion. So a lot of my motivation and energy is tangled up within social interactions. It just seems a cafe is a perfect spot for that. Bone broth is ideal, and I'm going to try and start to have that more so. Some other things that I've so-called cheated with: mango and banana smoothie made on coconut milk, just to see how it went and obviously have that flavor. And it was the same with coconut water. But after having these things again, first thing I noticed was my digestion was off and also my anxiety shot up, which is very interesting. I do have those moments of weakness. However, you can pay the price. And for me and my body, man, I feel it instantly. And also in the last video that I done where I was talking about my experience reintroducing vodka, and vodka is arguably the purest form of alcohol. I learned that that particular kind of vodka that I had was derived from grains. But you can also get vodka derived from other things, and so I tried a vodka made from molasses. And to my surprise, while I was anticipating some flare-ups, I had little to none. But still, I just feel better not drinking. Sparkling water is my true love. Oh, that's good. But hey, I'm first to admit I've got other vices that I'm trying to get past. For example, I still really love eating chicken wings on occasion. I have obvious reactions, like almost instantly. So it's one of those, why do I do this scenarios? I know that I feel my most best eating ruminant animals like beef or lamb, but I still do it to myself. Anyway, it's a part of the journey. Now, another thing that I wanted to touch on today is supplements. So I was supplementing with glycine because I was reading about getting too much methionine from eating all meat, even though the amount you would have to have is ridiculous. And eating a couple pounds of meat a day isn't going to get you there, especially eating high fat and not just all muscle meat. But I had some glycine in the cupboard anyway, so I thought, you know what, I'll have that just to sort of take the edge off. But I've since stopped supplementing with the powdered glycine, and I'm just having bone broth, which is another fantastic source of glycine. Yummy shit too. Now, because histamine intolerance was one of the big issues I've faced over the years, and an issue I still face, if I'm having high histamine foods like bacon or fish that hasn't been like snap frozen immediately after it's been caught, I supplement with vitamin C and quercetin to help lower histamine levels. If it's a rainy day and I'm not getting much sun, I supplement with vitamin D that has K2 in it as well. Obviously because the skin isn't interacting with the sun and producing that vitamin D. So I just have a couple sprays of this and get my daily intake. And so a bit of a discussed topic in the carnivore community, desiccated beef organs. So for me, I'll have beef organs once or twice a week. I cut them out completely for a while, but now I've reintroduced them again. That includes things like heart, bone marrow, histamine and immune, which has liver, kidney, spleen, lung and thymus. And last but not least, bull testicle. I know that Dr. Anthony Chafee doesn't like the bull's nuts, but I honestly find it gives me some vigor and vitality that I don't normally get. Whether it's placebo or not, love me bull testes. Anyway, next thing I want to talk about is skin issues. So I've had rosacea and pityriasis rosea come and go over the years. A couple years ago, before carnivore, my whole torso and my back, a bit on my groin and a bit on my face was a red rash. I did find supplementing with iodine and L-tyrosine capsules helped immensely and cleared it up. But skip forward to doing carnivore over the past 6 months, the rosacea come back with a vengeance. Now I've read quite a bit where people experience this, like their eczema or their rosacea comes back and it's quite intense, even if it's been gone for years. Now whether it's due to oxalate dumping or your body's just healing and giving it that one last knock on the head, either way it sucks and is quite confusing and triggering and can make you even question doing the carnivore diet. But I also read a lot of people said just stick it out and it clears up. And for me, it took 5 months. So if this is something that does happen or is happening to you, just stick it out and hopefully you'll find some reprieve sooner or later. Next thing, sleep. So like many people, I've struggled with sleep since I was a kid. You go to bed just to stare at the roof and toss and turn all night. It just drives you mad. To the point where I was relying on smoking cannabis every night just to try and get a good night's sleep. But I soon learnt from neuroscientist Andrew Huberman that that's not the case. You're not getting the deep sleep, and it's kind of just like an illusion to make you think that you are. I honestly did it for years and years and years. Although I stopped smoking weed when I went carnivore, and sure, it takes a couple weeks to adjust, but now my sleep is the best it's ever been in my life. Like I go to bed, put my head on the pillow, within 10 to 15 minutes, I'm out. That's never happened before. I'm getting fantastic deep sleep. I'm having vivid and intense dreams, which I love because, you know, when you're smoking weed, you don't really remember your dreams. Carnivore has completely transformed my sleep, which is arguably at the top of the pyramid for your health. Anyway, I just wanted to finish up on my biggest issues that I wanted to solve doing carnivore. My autoimmune issues, my gut issues, anxiety and depression. You know, sure, we all have our days, but comparing my health from like, say, a year ago to now, I'm a completely different person. My digestion is great. No more constant cramps and pains and diarrhea. My stools are fantastic with zero fiber. My joint issues from my bone disorder significantly improved. No more acid reflux, which I've had since a teenager. I'm not suffering from my list of food intolerances because I'm, well, not eating those foods, except for the histamine thing, but that's manageable. And previously suffering from depression and having anxiety pretty much 24/7 in that flight response, cortisol's high, my thyroid was out of whack. Just having a stable mood changes your entire life. Going from always being to now and I'm also stacking a lot of other things here in my lifestyle, like doing a sauna a couple times a week, ice baths several times a week, running, working out, meditation and breath work. All of these obviously help each other. Anyway, I completely feel like I'm living a whole new life, mentally, physically, and spiritually since doing carnivore. So if you're suffering from health issues such as autoimmune problems, gut problems, skin issues, anxiety or depression, and you feel like you're backed into a corner, maybe just give carnivore a go. See how you feel. Alright, signing out. Keep thriving, friends.